This is NIADA TV, the official streaming TV show for the National Independent Automobile Dealers Association, whose mission is to promote, educate, and advocate for the nation's independent dealers. Let's get today's show started. Welcome to NIADA TV, the official streaming show of the National Independent Automobile Dealers Association. I'm your host, Corey Mosley, and I'm thrilled to have you with us. We have another great show for you today, including my interview with Brent Carmichael, Director of Education for NIADA, with some news about NIADA's training and education programs. But before we get to that interview, let's take a look at some of the latest headlines shaping the industry. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans last week ordered the FTC to vacate the CARS rule, finding the agency did not issue proper notice of the rule change. The order to vacate came after the court heard oral arguments in October on the case filed by the National Automobile Dealers Association and the Texas Automobile Dealers Association against the FTC. NIADA and the Texas IADA joined the efforts to stop the FTC from enforcing the vehicle shopping rule. NIADA and TIADA filed an amicus brief in support of NADA and TADA, asking for the rule to be vacated. The amicus brief pointed to the rule's negative impacts on the car buying process and significant costs to independent dealerships. The Federal Open Market Committee pushed pause on cutting interest rates last Wednesday. After cutting rates more than 100 basis points in the past 3 meetings, the FOMC decided to keep the federal target rate between 4.25 and 4.5%. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said the economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. Though the FOMC has cut rates in the last 6 months, automotive rates have not moved. According to new numbers from Cox Automotive, the used vehicle loan rate was at 13.91% in early January. That was an increase from the 2-year lows in December of 13.4%. After being confirmed by the U.S. Senate, Sean Duffy was sworn in as the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation. Duffy immediately signed a memorandum instructing his staff to start work on resetting the corporate average fuel economy standards. Duffy said the memorandum reduces the burdensome and overly restrictive fuel standards that have needlessly driven up the cost of a car. The American people should not be forced to sacrifice choice and affordability when purchasing a new car, he said. Also in Washington, Andrew Ferguson took over officially as the chairman of the Federal Trade Commission January 20th. Ferguson was already a member of the FTC Commission and did not require Senate approval. For more details on these news stories and the latest in industry news, head over to niada.com/dashboard. Join us in Las Vegas for the largest event in the independent auto industry. That's right, the 2025 NIADA Convention and Expo is being held June 23rd through the 26th at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and registration is now open. This event features 5 tracks of education with sessions led by industry experts, plus the largest exhibit hall for used car dealers. Take advantage of early bird registration and get entered to win a chance to participate in the NIADA Supercar Driving Experience sponsored by AutoZone All Data. Visit niada.com/convention for full details and to save $200 with early bird registration. I'll see you there. Brent Carmichael, Director of Education for NIADA, took a quick break from the NIADA 20 group he was conducting to chat with me about all things education at the association. Here is that conversation. Brent, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us. We're actually catching you running 20 groups right now, right?
That's correct. I just adjourned a meeting about 25 minutes ago, as a matter of fact. So, and got another one starting in the morning.
Well, we're so glad that we can thread the needle here. Let's talk about NIADA's 20 group program, which you are overseeing. You've got some great ideas, some things that are going to be happening with that. Let's just jump right in and talk about the program and some of the things that you're focusing on with the 20 group.
Well, the main focus we have right now, Corey, and again, thank you for the opportunity. Greatly appreciate it. It's always good to see you and always good to hang out with you. The main focus right now is just kind of acclimating the NCM groups that are transitioning over to NIADA. Obviously, we've had some new staff members added on the NIADA side, on the 20 group side. So we're kind of in a little bit of a learning period, kind of getting comfortable with each other a little bit, and kind of the same thing with the groups as well. I've been very fortunate that most of the NIADA 20 group members I've just known over the years. I've been obviously in the buy here, pay here business in the independent use space for quite a few years. So pretty much know a majority of them now. But again, kind of getting to know each other, getting comfortable, kind of dialing some things in for a bad cliche.
And well, as you have, started to work on this now and diving right in again, being at meetings now, what are you seeing is different about the landscape? Are you seeing the optimism there? And kind of from the program side of things, is it been a smooth transition in that area?
It has, and again, there's been a lot of optimism. I mean, all of the NIADA members as I've come across, once the announcement was made last June, a lot of them reached out to me, looking forward to it. And again, the NIADA 20 group program and education program in general is not broken, never was. But there is some opportunities there. Again, really try not to be a cliche guy, but one of my favorite books is Good to Great, and I think that's kind of the direction that we're looking with it. But again, nothing but positive reaction with the future of not only the 20 groups, but the education program as well. So I've been welcomed with open arms, not only by the NIADA staff, but by association members in general.
And I guess, before we talk about the overall education program and some of your plans there, I think we should just take a moment because not everyone has ever participated in a 20 group. Why don't we just take a moment before we move on to talk about what the program entails and what members get for joining?
Well, the main thing about a 20 group is it's a peer performance group, Corey. It's the opportunity to have 17 to 20 consultants on call pretty much anytime. Anytime that you need anything, hey, I'm struggling with sales training or I'm struggling with inventory acquisition. Now you have access to 17 to 20 consultants, so to speak, as part of your 20 group to rely on and kind of lean on for guidance to learn from. And that's even before we start talking about the metric side, where that monthly composite comes in, where you get the opportunity to compare yourself financially to how other dealers are doing. And again, the main benefit is you're not in competing markets. So it's not like I'm giving away trade secrets in my market to somebody else in my group. They're non-competing markets. So it really opens up the flow of information where you can be completely open and honest about exactly what it is and how you do it. And again, how you're performing financially.
Excellent. Good. Thank you for that clarity because I think a lot of people have heard the term, but really it's something you have to experience to really get a lot of value from to me and really see the performance of your dealership grow from that. Now, aside from the 20 groups program, as the director of education, what are some of the things that are happening with the overall education programs right now within IADA?
Well, we're going to make sure that we roll out our full product offering for all of the independent use space. And I think all of us agree that there's been kind of a little bit of a lack over the last, and again, I'm not one of these guys that blames everything on COVID, but for the last 5 years, there's just really not been consistent resources for the independent used dealer from a training standpoint overall. So, we're getting feedback. We've got a steering committee that we've created at NIADA to get feedback from membership, from the association to find out specifically what it is that they want, especially in the near future, to make sure that we start these programs again. And then I want to make sure that we develop a consistent yearly education program. And again, the convention is part of that. Don't get me wrong. But outside of that, things to do in between the convention. We will be rolling out our certified master dealer program again this year, both on the retail side and on the buy here, pay here side. Those dates have been recently moved. We've moved those to August to give us a better opportunity to kind of dial that program in and make sure that we get the best product out there. So, the main focus again is just to get that consistent education program again, which the independent space has been lacking for quite a few years.
No, absolutely. And I think it's definitely exciting times for independent dealers. We've got about a minute left. Before I let you go, you kind of you shaped it, and you might have answered this question a little bit before I let you go. But in terms of the future, what are some of the things you mentioned? Some things that are happening that are already being talked about. Are there any things that members need to potentially know that are on the horizon? Maybe you want a little take an opportunity to no better place to preview it than NIADA TV, right?
Well, kind of, yes. I did mention the certified master dealer class that we are instituting again later on this year. Again, we're going to kind of reevaluate what has been done historically. And will there be new product offerings? Sure, there will, because times have changed since those product offerings came out. Specifically, what those will be, to be quite honest with you, Court, are going to be based on membership and association feedback. I mean, I know what I would like to have out there just from the feedback that I have with the clients that I work with, but it ain't about me, so to speak. I want to make sure that we really get what the membership wants, and if there is anything that we're currently lacking, the membership has my word that we will, to the best of our ability, get it out there for them. So I did kind of preface the CMD a little bit there just to let them know that's the first thing. Again, we're working on some dates with some other stuff. Really don't like to preface those just yet, just in case. And as soon as we have the dates, I promise you, everybody will know.
I have a way of trying to coax some extra stuff out of people, but the one thing I know for sure is we've got the right person in the driver's seat. Brent Carmichael, Director of Education for NIADA. Thank you for joining the show today.
Corey, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that does it for today's show. Thanks for watching, and be sure to share this episode with your industry friends, partners, and colleagues. I'm Corey Mosley for NIADA TV, and I will see you next time.